think that giant shipwrecked bell up there was the inspiration for the bells Trader Joe's employees use every time they can't find a solution to their own problems. I'm just kidding, that's fake news. Okay, and all of this I'm taking off of the information that the lovely lady from New Jersey gave me at the visitor center here in Georgetown. So Georgetown, founded in 1729. 1729. Here I am this morning bitching and moaning that I can't get Wi-Fi in this town. Meanwhile, there were people coming at 1729. I mean, can you even imagine? There was probably nothing here but forest, and they figured it out. Which, and mind you, I know we have people from all over the world that watch this channel, but my Americans, this country was founded by a bunch of badasses who came here and had no idea what they were going to roll up on. They didn't have Wi-Fi, they didn't have anything. And yeah, I mean, a lot of them died, so there was that. But just remember, you got a streak of rebellion in your blood. So, speaking of which, cue the totally appropriately placed flags while I'm trying to have this conversation. Well done, Georgetown. Okay, so what this says, or what she told me, is that Georgetown is the third oldest town in South Carolina. So Beaufort, I never know how to say it. There's one in North Carolina too. If you mispronounce it, the locals will eat your face off. Beaufort, Charleston, those are the first two. Georgetown is the third oldest. I'm trying to take in the river walk while we do this. It's not a pretty day. There's no opportunity for side boob on a day like this. Anyway, so it goes on to say that indigo and rice were the major money makers here. Indigo is a dye, and then rice, well, I think you all know what that is. And then they kind of skip over the chapter about, you know, when they outlawed slavery in the US, well, then the cost of your product goes through the roof because you don't have free labor anymore. So at that point, lumber took over as the big moneymaker in Georgetown. And today we have International Paper here, which I told you about before. Again, we have one in Wilmington. And when the wind is just right, as it was here last night, the entire city smells like a kitty litter box. And that's because of the pulp. The pulp stinks. So I'm gonna huff it down the Riverwalk a little bit. I'm gonna try to find some houses. And I mean, this is a beautiful little town. I get a decade of just skipping over this entirely because I was in a rush to go somewhere else. And that's what happens when you don't stop and take the detours and go to the cities that do not have an off-ramp on the interstate, is you miss out on beautiful places like this. So let's go get some history and some architecture and hopefully some chocolate soon because I need a snack. This home, also pay attention to the architecture, the way it's built. You'll see this in a lot, especially down in South Carolina and in Charleston. The porches and the main entrance are actually on the side of the home, and the narrow part of the house faces the roadway. You'll see it all the time in Charleston and here, and that is strategic. It's designed to catch the breeze, and it's also for privacy. You see, when they did not have air conditioning, ladies would kind of strip down to their undergarments, not the thongs we see on Instagram. I mean, your decent undergarments. And they would go out onto the porches to cool off. Well, you couldn't really do that if your doorway and your porch was facing the road. So a lot of the houses designed to catch the breeze and designed to give you privacy when you're sitting in your britches trying to cool down in the summer. The more you know. Not officially on the historic home walking tour, but I did just find where the Easter Bunny lives. See how it's blue underneath the porches, right? You'll see this an awful lot in the South. They paint underneath these side porches, they'll paint them blue. And the theory behind that, at least what I've been told, is that way birds will get confused and they will not nest in the porch area. I'm not sure that birds are that stupid, but it is this very sweet Southern story. And on most of the homes that have the side porches they're painted blue. And because of that, when I die, I want to be reincarnated as a sassy flamingo, a huge obnoxious flamingo. I don't even know if they make nests, but I'm going to build the biggest one the South has ever seen underneath one of these blue painted porches.
Getting a roast shad out.
Oh, there we go.
You like shad or you don't like shad?
I don't. Are you cooking or am I cooking?
No, ma'am. You're cooking.
When you visit the South, you'll notice that pretty much every southern coastal town has a front street, and that's because it's a street that's on the waterfront. But I don't think I've ever been to one that doesn't have a front street. Anyway, I just got my first gift from Georgetown. These Southerners think they're so funny. Well, they are. And this is going to go in the van. This will be my little memory from Georgetown. I mentioned that I was from New Jersey and I was visiting, and this restaurant gave me not one, not two, but like a stack of stickers that say, "Big tuna, fresh Yankee, served daily." Now, they're still so butthurt about that whole little tiff we got into years ago. I mean, they're still fighting that war. So I'm not going to hate. I'm just going to take my sticker. I think that's hilarious, and move on and say thank you, Georgetown. And I bet we're just delicious. This is apparently the Thomas Jefferson house, although I'm legit, like pretty much positive not the Thomas Jefferson that you and I are thinking of. They don't give a whole lot of detail, and that is a landscaper, not a historic landscaper, just a landscaper. Anyway, it was built in 1825, and I don't think it's been updated since 1825 either. It says it's the only Virginia-style chimney left in Georgetown because there's, I'm sure, a world full of chimney enthusiasts who needed to know that. So they don't tell you which Thomas Jefferson, but they do say the original owner is a bootmaker and a storyteller. Come on, Historic Society, like up your game. Lie to me. Tell me that it's the Thomas Jefferson house and he lived there with like a farm of miniature zebras. Like, I'm not gonna know. I wasn't there. Anyway, I also passed a porch that apparently George Washington gave a speech from when he came down here. And I'm sure he stood up on the porch and said, "Y'all want some sweet tea?" Because that's how Southerners talk. I'm still a little butthurt about that sticker I got.